My name is Mark Choi. I'm head of developer analytics for Unity Analytics. And hopefully you guys all had a fantastic time at this morning's keynote. I know I did, and I'm incredibly excited to be here today to talk to you a little bit more about Unity Analytics as an IAP. And it's all about unlocking data insights, supercharging your game's monetization with those three tools that Unity offers. So let's begin. So there's a lot of challenges that Unity game developers are facing today to make sure that they're optimizing monetization successfully in their game. And more game developers are finding a need for a real-time marketing platform to understand players and maximize the potential of the game. And why is this so important? Well, it's to customize the player experience, increase player engagement, and help your monetization strategies be ever more effective. And hopefully the end result is a well-running monetization motor that maximizes player lifetime value. So how do we start to begin building this monetization motor? Well, Unity provides a comprehensive set of tools that you need to do just that. You begin with the two wheels that generate revenue for your game, and that would be in-app purchasing, IAP, and in-game advertising, Unity Ads. And both of these tools are integrated right into the engine, and we've designed these workflows just for the Unity game developer to minimize messy integrations, the need to write a bunch of code, and maximize the ease of use. So let's start with Unity Analytics here. Unity Analytics, you can kind of think about it as the engine for your monetization motorcycle, right? You can use Unity Analytics to get fast and easy insights into your game, improve the in-game economy, and optimize the player experience. But more importantly, you can use analytics as a bridge to see your revenue data from both IAP and ads. And that's incredibly important because Unity Analytics is one of the few places where you can see your total aggregate revenue picture. And this helps you focus on the metrics that matter, which in this case would be average revenue per daily active user, or otherwise known as ARPDAU. So let's talk a little bit about Unity Analytics here. So Unity Analytics, as John mentioned this morning, is custom built for Unity by gamers for gamers. And what this means is that we haven't had to compromise to serve the needs of Unity game developers when making this analytics product. So when we launched a couple of years ago, we launched with multi-platform support right out of the box. We focused on building game-specific tooling like heat maps and custom game event tracking. And we heard from you guys about developer pain around messy SDK integrations. And so what we did was we built the analytics SDK right into the engine, and so that it's as easy as just a click of a button to get started with the Unity Analytics. And I'll show a quick demo right after this to show you how that's done. So why don't we go ahead and do that? So let's switch to the demo now. And hopefully I can get this to work and show you what you guys missed out on from this morning. So right now I have a blank, empty project. And you can start with Unity Analytics right out of the box or after you finish your game development. But all you have to do is just navigate to the services window, turn on Analytics. And what you'll do at this point is just do a simple validation step to make sure that this editor, which also acts as a device, is sending events properly to our backend so that we're tracking them properly, right? And so I'll do just that. I'll click Go to Dashboard. It'll take me through this integration flow. There's a bunch of copy here, but you can disregard most of that. The important thing to see here is this validation step. And as you can see, it's currently waiting for test data. And so what I'll do now to validate my integration is simply go back to the editor and generate some test events. And I do that by just pressing play. And once I've done that, you'll start to see events coming through in near real time. And that helps you validate the integration. There we go. As you can see, we've received the app start event. And now I see a little note saying, congratulations, your integration is done. And that's it. Once you've built your game and published it to the various app stores, your games will have analytics built in and be tracking all the engagement, retention, and monetization events that you need. So once you've done that, let me just show you a little bit about the dashboard that I'm talking about, the analytics dashboard that allows you to see your IAP and ad revenue in one place. And so we built Data Explorer to help you dive deep into the metrics that you care about, the metrics around engagement, retention, and monetization. So as you can see here, I have DAU populated on the screen, and you can slice and dice your data in any way you like. We have a couple of standard segments that we populate for you right off the bat. These are segments around life cycle, around geography, around player monetization behavior. But you always have the option to build your own segments as well, too. And you can do that by using the segment builder. And if you go into segment builder, you can create rule-based events that help you build these segments. And like I said before, in this dashboard, in Data Explorer, you can see all your revenue in one place. So if I want to pull up total revenue, I can do that. Now let's go ahead and also add in my IAP revenue as well and see that breakout. And I'll add ad revenue too. And there you go. In Data Explorer, you can use this to get a complete picture of your revenue monetization in your game. And there's a bunch of other additional tools built in. So let's go back to the presentation. So like I said before, we've made analytics as simple as possible to use. Just avoiding the hassle of messy integrations, get started quickly with the one-click integration, see all your data in one dashboard, and find insights quickly. Now, let's dive a little bit deeper into the building blocks of revenues. And so I'll start with IAP. So Unity IAP, we brought these tools to the Unity game developer to make it easy to set up IAP across a variety of different app stores. So what this is that it sits on top of games. It's a universal API that is cross-platform and modular. And it's designed to deploy across multiple platform app stores with the same code base. And the problem that we're trying to solve is that with the proliferation of app stores, it required developers to write a bunch of separate code, oftentimes repeating the same code over and over with slight changes for each individual app store. And sure, you do it one time, and it's easy enough, but you do it 2, 3, 4 times, it's downright painful. Not only that, but each app store has its separate learning curve. You have to learn a different development language. There's different APIs and flow of information. And it requires the user to be an expert in each implementation, and oftentimes read tens of hundreds of pages of documentation. And we wanted to get rid of all that, and that's why we came out with Unity IAP. Unity IAP stands this on its head. And instead of rewriting IAP code for every single store is adapted to work with Unity IAP. It's a single, consistent, universal API. And the benefit, of course, is saving you, the developer, a ton of time. We do the heavy lifting so that you guys can focus on what's more important, which is building great games. Just wanted to throw this up there. As Unity, we adhere to the Unity philosophy of being accessible across all the different platforms that you guys are on. So currently today, above the line, we support most of the major app stores that are out there, and we're continually adding support for new app stores every single day. So many more to come. So I'm going to just show you an IAP demo now. So I'm switching back to the demo. So let me now go ahead and walk you through what the IAP setup process looks like. So I have in here a game. It's called Movie Dude. And what I'll do first is I'll play the game itself, just to show you what the gameplay is like. So it's Movie Dude. I select this character right here. And the point of the game is to avoid getting hit by the bombs and collect the coins as they're falling down. So let me try to collect the one coin at least, if I'm good enough. There we go. So as you can see, by collecting the coins, my coin meter goes up, and I get hit by a bomb and I die. And when I die, I see a couple of options in my game over screen. I see an IAP option right here, so I'll click on that. Right now, IAP is not set up quite yet, so if I try to purchase 100 coins, nothing happens. And same with this grandma figure as well, too. What I've set up here is both a consumable and non-consumable item. And what that means is that the major platform app stores allow you to offer both consumable and non-consumable items in your game. So a non-consumable item is something like this grandma character that you buy only once. And a consumable item would be something like gold coins or hearts or lives, something that the user can buy over and over and over again. Unity IAP also offers support for subscriptions as well, too. So if you have like magazines or extra levels, we offer that support as well. So let me go ahead now and show you how to actually turn IAP on. And so what I'll do first is I'll download the store-specific packages. So the core IAP APIs are built into the Unity engine starting with 5.3. But we provide the store-specific code as a downloadable plugin. And the reason for that being is that it provides us additional flexibility anytime we want to, let's say, provide support for an additional store, or less often, sometimes Google and Apple will change their implementation, and we know how critical it is to update your monetization so that you guys are earning money from your players. And once that happens, we'll update our implementation as well, too, and make sure that you guys always have the latest available package to play with. So going back to the services window, you can see IAP purchasing is already turned on. And you'll click this import button to import in the store-specific packages. So let's say once you've done that, now we got to do a little bit of coding to get IAP to work. Basically, you'll create a purchaser script, and this script contains a couple of steps. It'll allow you to create the product identifiers, initiate IAP, and then handle all the different responses to let the device or game know that either it purchased the item successfully or the purchase had failed. So let me go into my script now, and I'll walk you through it. So here, you can see where I'm setting up the product IDs. So these K product ID consumable and K product ID non-consumable are the generic product IDs. And you'll see here that I've also created ones that are specific to both Apple and to Google. And so what this does is that when building my app for iOS, for example, Unity IAP will automatically convert the proper identifiers for the appropriate store. So once I've set up all my identifiers now, I want to create what's known as a builder. I want to configure the builder. And what the builder does is it tells Unity what products to offer inside of my game. And so I have the builder logic right here. As you can see, I'm using the builder add product to add this non-consumable item, as well as a consumable item to my game's catalog. Next, I'll initialize Unity IAP. And then the fourth step is to make these products available for purchase using the buy product ID method. And so the product IDs are passed through as a parameter. So for instance, in this case, for this buy product ID method, I pass in the K product ID consumable. And I do the same here for the non-consumable as well. Finally, there's some setting up to do in terms of sending back the proper responses, letting us know if a purchase had either succeeded or failed, so that the game knows how to act upon those responses, right? Like whether or not to reward the player or give the player the items that they're seeking, or maybe you prompt them that for some reason their credit card got declined and the purchase had failed. And so that's what I'll do right here, is I'll set up these responses. So if the purchase has gone through, I'll see a response saying process purchase pass. And if it had failed, I'll see instead process purchase failed. And so that's the script there. So just to recap, we've enabled IAP, we've imported the store packages, we've created the purchaser script, and finally, it's time to hook everything up together. So what you'll do is, I've already added my purchaser script to this game object called IAP panel purchaser. And in here, I have my grandma buy button, as well as my 100 coins buy button. And so let's see here. So with grandma buy button, I'll go in here. There we go. Then I'll drag my, whoops. So on click, I'll look for my purchaser method. The right method is grandma, so it's buy non-consumable. I'll do the same for 100 coins. And then since 100 coins is a consumable item, I'll go into purchaser and designate it as buy consumable. OK, so let's give it a shot. I'll play my game now. Again, it's the movie Dude. Let's see if I can die. All right, there we go. So now that I'm dead, let's go back into our IAP store here and see if this works. So I've set up my console to show the responses. And if I buy coins, there we go. My purse has increased by 100 coins. And you can see these purchase pass console messages here letting you know that this worked properly. And I'll do the same with the grandma non-consumable item as well, too. Perfect. Now let's see what happens when we restart the game. Great. Now my grandma item has been purchased and is accessible by me, the player. I'll click on her. She's a little faster, a little bit more fun to play with, even though she's older, apparently. And I'll see if I can die again. And what you'll notice, if you go back into the IP store, is I can't buy the grandma character anymore, and that's because she's a non-consumable item. And so since I already have her in my possession, we don't allow the player to purchase them again. And that's it. That's how to get started with both Unity Analytics and IAP. So going back to the presentation now. Great. So now here to talk about the final piece to understanding your game's monetization. Let me introduce Stephen Sullivan from Unity Ads.
Good job, man. Thanks a lot, Mark. I'm Stephen Sullivan, Director of Product for Unity Ads. I'm very excited to be here at Unite to talk to you about the final piece in the monetization puzzle, ads. How many of you here have ever used ads to monetize in one of your games in the past few years? Great, that seems like a lot of people. So today, what I'm going to do is share with you Unity Ads' approach to monetization and some interesting findings that we've seen by executing a case study with 2,000 developers in the market. So Unity Ads is the best way to monetize, engage, and retain your users. Our primary focus in Unity services, is to enable developer success. That means not only helping you build your game, but also helping you be successful after you launch. At Unity Ads, there's 3 parts to this approach. The first is we have a tight integration with Unity. We understand that you're all tired of SDKs. You don't want to take the time to implement any more. So we created a one-button solution to adding ads into your game. The second is Unity's deep expertise in games. That's why today, I'm going to be giving you examples of developers that have cracked the code in effective ad monetization. And as I mentioned, the second piece, we have survey results that show what exactly developers have found when they use ads with their players. And finally, our global reach. We have account managers all over the globe that help support both publishers and ad buyers to make sure that we have the best, most effective network in the industry. A huge part of that global reach is here in EMEA. Since the last time we talked to you at Unite, we've seen 41% growth in the amount of money our publishers are earning using Unity ads. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about the evolution of ads in the ecosystem for the past few years. The first part of our survey results is the fact that 71% of players are open and choose to use watching rewarded video ads as the primary way that they pay for a game. And this makes sense. People are used to watching ads as part of entertainment. We also know that with IAP and the free-to-play models, only about 5% of your audience monetizes through in-app purchases. By adding blended monetization models, this gives a chance for the other 95% to help you be successful as a developer. So let's talk about a little bit of history. In the beginning, you had ad integrations that looked a lot like this. On one side, you spent a long time developing your game, the core loops, the secondary loops, keeping people engaged, and doing everything it takes to make a really fun game that people want to play. And then typically, at the last moment, you create another loop or slap a banner ad in your game that says, oh, we need to make money from this game too, so like, here we go. But these things are completely separate. So at first, you had your game, banners, which could interfere with gameplay, and that eventually evolved. The next thing that people started doing is adding rewarded video into their games, but it tended to be outside of the core loop. This will give you some monetization, but it's not going to give you the best monetization that you need to succeed. So if we think about where we used to be, is we worked with one of our top customers last year, and they were seeing between 5 and 10% of people interact with rewarded video ads every single day. But by building the ads strategically into the gameplay and giving them a deeper, more interactive experience, the developer was able to raise the amount of people using ads to 35%. That's triple the revenue from the ads monetization piece of their game. So there's two takeaways from this example. One, when we talk about integrating ads to fit naturally into your gameplay, we're not just talking about 5%. We're talking about 300% what you would make originally. And the second is, the time to think about ads monetization is not after you launch. The most important time for your game when you're launching on an iOS, Android, or any of these other app stores that we support is the first couple months when it's out there. So you want to plan ahead and make sure that your ad integration fits well with the rest of your game. So here's a little bit of a graph of how you'd want this to work, right? Player plays, they progress, you offer them a reward, they gain the reward, they're able to upgrade, collect resources, go back to building and expanding, continue playing, and that is a continuous loop. Now this is a little bit abstract, so I'm going to dig into our first example of developers that have done this very well. So next, Future Play developed the game Farm Away. And what they've done is built their ads around a mechanic, which is watching the videos to enter bonus mode. The result is they saw 22 rewarded video ads seen per player and an average of 15-cent revenue. So let's see how they did this. So here we are, a happy little farm, smiley carrots, and they give you the opportunity to literally make it rain by watching an ad in your game. So after a few short seconds, right here we have an ad for Clue Bingo by Stormate. The player is introduced to a game that they might be interested in playing. They spend a little time learning about it. Video ads are the most effective way to storytell about your game and acquire new users when you advertise. That's because once the user gets done, they're very qualified and they know what your game's going to be about. They weren't tricked into clicking on what you're presenting them. So they've opted in to watch the ad in the first place, and then they've opted in to installing it at the end. Future Play got astronomical results from this. So this is our first case. They've done very well. And I think one of the things you're probably wondering, because we started talking about monetization, we talked about IAP revenue, we talked about ad revenue, but you're all game designers, and so the question in your head is, okay, but what does this mean for engagement, right? Am I turning off my users by showing them ads? Am I sacrificing something in the game that I'm making a trade-off for? And through our survey, we're happy to say that done right, there's wide acceptance to rewarded video ads in games. In fact, 80% of players have confirmed that they're open to watching a rewarded video ad if it means that they're going to get something and progress in the game. So that's very good news. Rewarded video not only helps monetization, it can also help with retention. So among the people that we talked to, 39% actually saw an increase from retention because of rewarded video. Now think about this, it makes sense. I'm playing a game, I'm stuck, I have a gate, I run into it, I can't get by. Rewarded video is just one more avenue that lets me progress in the game. 2 or 3 years ago, this was a new mechanic. Now, I think that it's in probably every game out there, and the players are used to seeing it. The next is, we know that retention is the most important metric, and that it directly correlates to an increase in higher LTV for users. So when we look at our own data for the past quarter, what we found was the players that were engaging with rewarded video ads were retaining better on day one because they're your most engaged players. They were also providing the better LTV than the average user in the game. Another one of our developers, GameHive, makers of Tap Titans and the smash hit Hit the Boss, said to us that they saw no loss of retention by adding ads into their games. In fact, they saw an increase in retention, and they had players demanding that they let them see more ads. This is because most developers choose to limit the number of ads people can see a day. All right. So we've talked about how ads can help increase your monetization. Then talked about the effect on retention and the positive effect it can have. Now, I'm going to talk about and show a demo of how easy it is to get started with Unity ads. So we're going to go to the demo. All right, so here we are in our editor. So what I'm going to do is do a typical ad integration. You see the services window on the right side. I've already got ads turned on, so that saves me at least 2 seconds of this presentation. And I can go to the canvas, and let's say we want to integrate some ads. So I'm going to go to UI, create a new button, buttons in the world, look at it with the inspector. I'm going to add a component, let's call it video button. And then we're going to go and edit that. This is where I start to hope that the internet works. So we just go UnityEngine, advertisements. I'm going to create a function called show video. And then do advertisement, show. There we go. That concludes the typing portion of the demo. Now I'm going to add that action to the button on click. Video buttons here. Adding the action. Push play. And that's it. We're up and able to show an ad in our game. I think that was like a minute and a half. It's pretty easy. We make it so there's very little time that you guys are going to have to spend to try this out. So that was just the simplest case of integrating an ad to our games. But if I had a few more weeks, I might create something incredible, like our friends at Next Games. So this is Compass Point West by Next Games. They were nice enough to loan us their game to demonstrate their ad integration. And as they mentioned in the keynote, they spent an entire development cycle making sure that ads was built into their gameplay. So I have my nice western town that's trying to be taken over by the evil driller. I can go here and collect some coins. So the first thing they did was add the ability to watch a video as part of just the normal daily bonus collection activities. Here they have the video cart. We can look at it in the editor. Now, this is probably the nicest ads button I've ever seen. It's got moving horses, it's a carriage, but the addition of theme around watching the video makes it more compelling for players. So when I click on it, I have the opportunity to see a tale from faraway land. The second piece of this excellent ad integration is what you're earning at the end. I mentioned before, a lot of rewarded videos started out where you just get a couple coins every time you watch a video. You maybe go spend those coins. Compass Point West is a card battler, and what they do is give you a randomized chance to get an incredible card by watching one of these video ads. So by adding a random reward, they've put an additional layer on top of this. So let's see what randomized video we might see from a faraway land.
This is it now. Everybody you knew before is dead. There's just us and there's them. You gotta get by on your own now.
That was Walking Dead No Man's Land, Next Game's other hit title. That's very unexpected that would be in there. So now, the fun part. I learned about a game, and I'm going to claim my reward. When I tap to open, I get to select from one of 4 different cards and see what we get. Looks like I got a legendary Gatling gun. That's really going to help in the Old West. And there, fireworks, and we're done. So now back to the presentation. So the very simple setup. And what you see is from the simple integration of just adding an ad to your button, the Unity part's very, very simple. Show ad, you're done, 1 line of code. The difficult part is up to you as a game designer. Putting the ads into your game in a way that's compelling, that engages your users, that gives them something that they look forward to coming back to day to day, rather than something that you shove in their face and turn them off to a game, makes all the difference. So where you normally see 10% of users interacting with video ads, Next Game saw 75 to 80% of users. This is the best example I've ever seen. They're also seeing 6-cent revenue lift on their monetization. So I thank them again for letting us borrow their example and show you guys that today. Lastly, I want to talk a little bit about what's next for Unity Ads. We're completely revamping the SDK to make it more effective for both advertisers and publishers. One of the things we're doing as part of this is we're adding brand advertisements. That means connecting the top entertainment companies in the world with the top publishers in the world and helping maximize your monetization. We're very excited about this. You can email unityads.sales@unity3d.com. This Unite audience is the first to hear about this beta. So title the email ads beta, and we'll get back to you and get this SDK in your hands. So to conclude, Unity is the only engine that pays you to use it. We paid out more money to publishers last year than we took in from licensing revenue. The key components to enabling your success are thinking about monetization from the standpoint of IAP plus ad monetization. Together, these make ARPDAO. With IAP and ads, combined with our analytics system, we have created an engine that helps you gain insights about your game, improve your game, and maximize your success. That way you get better engagement, better monetization, better retention, and helps you guys continue to make the most awesome games in the industry. Thank you very much.
So thanks, guys. We wanted to make some time for you guys to ask us questions. We're more than happy to take as many questions as there are. So are there any questions in the audience? Yeah.
Is it on? I was wondering about the in-app purchases. Is receipt validation standardized, implemented?
So we do local client-side receipt validation. So it does, UnityIP does offer that out of the box.
Okay, and how is testing done? So
you can test in-app purchases using Apple's sandbox environment. So it sends back a response that lets you know if purchases are working correctly with the app stores. Sorry.
And I also saw you testing from the editor.
Exactly right.
So that's just a dummy response then.
That's right. And in the IAP package as well, I mean, we include a demo game in there as well too, and so you can actually look at the demo game itself. It's set up to work and do that testing inside the game. So.
Hello. With the brand advertising, is there an intention to be able to download resources? So if you had a 3D game, you could have billboards with advertising on in and stuff like that.
Long term, we're looking at different ad formats, different sort of areas of interactivity. So we don't have anything to announce there quite yet, but we think about it every day.
Hello. Regarding especially analytics, but also the other services, how do you handle, or do you handle when the player has no connectivity? Because in the past we had troubles tracking analytics when the user is offline.
Yeah, I mean, we cache all those events locally until hopefully the user device regains its internet connections. But sometimes, if too much time elapses, we'll flush those events. And unfortunately, there's not much else we can do but lose them. So, yeah, I mean, it's a common problem. We're figuring out ways to improve the process, but improve the data collection. But sometimes, if you don't have a working internet connection, there's not much we can do.
Hello, as Unity publishes to WebGL, are those services available for those builds, and can I charge my players via other services like PayPal?
So with UnityIP, if you recall that slide that we had about the more platforms to come. So some of the next platforms that we have spooled up are payment processors in Southeast Asia. So they follow kind of a similar payment processing model. You can actually use real cash to exchange for coupon codes to exchange into your game. PayPal is also another one that we've been exploring, but there's nothing imminent just yet in terms of supporting that. And then, sorry, you had a second question. Oh, WebGL, that's right. So WebGL works with analytics. UnityIP, we don't currently support it just yet.
Hi, I was wondering how much control do you have about what kind of ads your users get to see? So like, for example, gambling, underage people, games and brands you don't want to show because you're like, when you make a football manager, you don't want other football games to show.
Absolutely. We give publishers control through our dashboard. You can filter things by category, by age range, and a number of other different categories as we expand into brands. For now, if you use Unity Dashboard, you're able to select the App Store game categories that you want to show in your game.
How about the relevance of the ads for virtual reality applications?
I think they will be very relevant in the future. We don't have anything to announce in that area quite yet.
Hi. Regarding IAP verification, you talked about client-side verification.
That's right.
But is Unity planning to make server-side verification?
So that's something that we are currently discussing. So we do want to evolve our Unity IAP product even further. One thing that's been discussed before at GDC is developing adding to this monetization platform by allowing you to store a product catalog in the cloud. And with that, server-side receive validation seems like a complementary component. So it is one thing that we're working on. Server-side receive verification also has its own challenges, but it's something that we are considering.
Hello. Could you talk a little bit more about brand ads? And are you seeing more higher eCPMs with brand ads instead of using just gains?
Yeah, absolutely. It depends on the game, depends on the brand, but typically what we've seen, especially around the holidays for the last couple seasons, is brand advertisers want to pay a premium to get in front of players, and we expect higher eCPMs to result.
Great. Well, thank you all. I mean, we've really, it's been our privilege to be up here answering questions for you guys. We'll stick around either backstage or in the back over there if you guys want to approach us. And then we also have a Unity Analytics and a Unity Ads booth out there as well too. All of our colleagues are more than happy to answer more of your questions. So thank you.